Not NATO, baby. So,
the ghetto.
yo, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Gab. Got it with another vid for your what? For your Smith. So anyway, y'all, back at it with another video. I know it's been a minute since y'all seen me in the studio, but I'm back at it with another for your smother. And yes, I'm using this. But you know what? Better late than never. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the mother freaking video. Yeah. Today, for you guys on All That Podcast, bringing you music, culture, and all that, we got a couple topics today. So we're going to have 3 topics today. One of which is going to be Brittany Garnier, I hope I'm saying that right, but Brittany Garnier and her recent catch up with the Russian authorities. Yeah. Then we have Kim K talking about her little stunt and how basically people should just get off their fucking asses, her words, not mine, and just, work harder. Like, that's all there is to it. Just work harder. Then we have the Russia versus Ukraine debacle. I'm not going to get everything into it, but I'm just going to, a little update. So anyway, y'all, without further ado, let's get into the mother freaking video. All right. So firstly, we have Brittany Garnier. She's a WNBA basketball player that played for the Mercuries, and she's a 2-time Olympian champ. So your girl got skills. So anywho, she was detained in Moscow's airport flying from New York for having this hash oil, other known as cannabis oil, and I guess they were in these cartridges or whatever, and she got detained in Russia for them thinking that she was selling them or whatever. According to CNN, the Russian Federal Customs Service said an American was detained at Moscow Sheremetyevo Airport about being found with hash oil, end quote. It goes on further about what she was doing. It said a criminal case was underway for smuggling significant amounts of narcotic substances. An offense carries a potential punishment of 5 to 10 years in prison for just having some freaking cannabis oil, y'all. Some cannabis oil. Hash oil, to be exact. Like, all she had was some cartridges. I really wonder how many she had, though. Like, for real. And she faces up to 5 to 10 years? Like, that's insane. And they're not trying to let any Americans come over here, especially an athlete, because of the whole debacle with Russia and the United States. Obviously, in this war we got going on. Well, not we, but Russia and Ukraine have going on. So, they're not trying to let any Americans come over. Russia is basically going to keep her. They said she was arrested in February 2022, and they also have some very strict LGBTQ laws, and she is a LGBTQ woman. So these are going to be very harsh for her, but I don't know. We'll see. So I really hope she doesn't get 10 years, really any years at all, because just for a couple cartridges. Meanwhile, that other figure skater, she had a positive test about a month before the Olympics, and they let her skate, but it was because it was a cardiovascular medicine, but it wasn't approved. So they let her skate. It's just funny, like, and then all this stuff with Russia and US, like, it just doesn't make sense. I really don't like it, and, I just don't like it. Like, Russia, come the freak on, like, I really don't get it, but back what I was saying. So it's just funny that this other figure skater, she ended up winning gold. Her name is, please quote me on this, Mila Valieva. I'm definitely not saying that right, but we're going to get it right today. So, boom, boom, boom. To our next topic. I just think that's very interesting, and it's an ongoing debacle. This article was further explaining why she was in Russia, because she gets paid more over there. I mean, duh. Women in the U.S., especially in basketball teams, professional basketball leagues, do not make nearly as much as even rookie men basketball players make on their team. So I just think that's very funny. Like, even in a professional sport, Like, they can't even get paid the same as their male counterparts. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But any Hooters, on to the next one. All right, so we have Kim Kardashian. So she did this interview with Variety magazine talking about her new show with the family, of course, called The Kardashian, and it's going to be on Hulu. I don't know when, and I honestly don't care because I'm not going to watch it, but it will be on Hulu, and they just did this little review for their show. I mean, duh. So basically, this interview is going on, and what's her name? Miss Jenner. I'm blanking on her name right now. Was saying how she got them started into fame and how she knew, that they had something special after like the first or second season, and that she has a percentage in all of her kids' companies, and that she's the momager. But we all know her story, and that she was married to Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner. That's that. And her previous husband was this famous wealthy lawyer. He worked in the O.J. Simpson case. Yes, we know. So they are interviewing all of the kids or whatever, and they're talking about their lives after the show, how they started it, how they felt, blah, blah, blah. So then, the best advice for women in business: get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days. It proceeds to go, they have harsh criticism over the years, which they have. Each one of them has had their own criticisms, from Kim and Kanye to Khloe and Tristan, like all these things, all their daily lives put on blast, which I think they are brave, very brave for doing this. And I don't think I could ever have a reality TV show. I don't know. It would just be hard, but I'm sure to them, they're used to it, having cameras around all the time. So it's just very, very interesting. But anyway, the fact that she said that was like, come on, Kim. Like, you've had all the privileges in life, born to a wealthy family with your mom and dad, lawyer. I don't know what her mom did before she was a momager. But anywho, I'm sure she had some type of business skills, something, because how does she do all this? She manages all their freaking everything, like all their I just feel like it basically reiterates the fact that not even reiterates, like, she has blinders on because she's in this position of power. Like, you're not poor. You come from a good educational background. Like, you never had to go to, really bad schools. Like, so you've always had those opportunities, and you've always had money. So I don't understand how you could just say, oh, just get your ass up and work. Like, girl, who are you? I'm just like, Kim, please, Kim. We're going to need to talk, because even though she has done a lot as far as, well, maybe not a lot, but the only instance I can really think of is when she helped that guy get out of jail who's wrongfully imprisoned. But anywho, I'm not saying she doesn't have skills or she can't, like, do anything. I'm not saying that. It's just the fact that she is like, oh, there's nothing else to it. Just work harder. Like, excuse me, women haven't been getting the same pay as men and since forever, like since the beginning of we got paid. Like, I seen this study according to psearch.org that's saying the gender pay gap is still women still get paid 80 cents on a dollar as far as men, and this was in 2021. So just saying, we've never got paid the same as men, and it's really hard no matter what we're doing, no matter how hard we work, no matter what we do, especially for black and a woman. Like, I don't understand. We can't even wear our hair. Cue to that dude getting his hair cut in a wrestling match because it didn't match the standards. Like, I'm just so confused how our hair has to do with our performance. Like, we can barely, especially black people, can barely wear their hair. Cultural discrimination. Also, if you didn't know about that, look it up. Anyway, discrimination based off your hairstyle. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So any Hooters, I keep saying that, y'all, but it's my new word. So I don't know where I heard it from, and if you heard it from somewhere else, you're like, okay. So anyway, men and women do not get paid the same. So it's funny she just said, like, oh, just keep working harder like him. What have you had to work for? Like, you got a show handed to you your whole life, and then opportunities came from that. And also, you've had a good education your whole life, so opportunities came from that. So I don't understand how you think you could just work harder like a good worker, a good work ethic is the only factor into achieving success. Like, that's not it. That's not it, Kim. And maybe for you, all you got to do is work a little harder. But, like, and I'm not saying she don't work hard. But at the same time, you've had more luxuries than other people have. And she's not disabled at all or anything like that. So, like, come on, Kim. So, anyway, to our next topic. This is the last one for the day, y'all. And then I'm going to get y'all out of here. Appreciate y'all for staying with me. And if you haven't already, follow my social medias down below on the bottom of the screen. They will be right there. Okay. So last but not least, we have this ongoing war situation with Russia and Ukraine. You feel me? Russia and Ukraine. So I read this thing on Instagram. I don't know if I can bring it up, but it's Ukraine because it wanted its resources, and basically it wanted to be seen like that it has clout. So they took over Ukraine, and then Ukraine eventually got out of its grasp, and they were an independent country for 30 years, striving, like my girl. But the way I read it on Instagram, it was like a story, like saying that Russia believed Ukraine, and Ukraine had the nerve to leave. Ukraine had the guts to finally leave Russia and live his best life, and then it was on itself for 30 years, aka independent country. And then so it was on its own for 30 years, and Russia, just started this. Vladimir Putin decided to invade Russia and do all these things, and I seen, according to CNN.com, an aircraft repair center on the outskirts of Lviv, western Ukraine, and the city's mayor said Friday the strikes suggest Russian forces are continuing to widen their attacks. So basically, they want to take more territory of Ukraine. And I read something in the paper last week. Yes, I know the paper that said Ukraine didn't want to release any of its territories. Like, they're trying to stay as strong as they can. I really hope Ukraine can do this, like, for real. Like, I'm rooting for Ukraine, but I just feel like Russia is so hell-bent on arming Ukraine into doing what it wants to do, and Putin just don't care. Like, let's just say that. He just don't care. And I just feel like he wants to take over Ukraine so he can show his dominance on other countries. But it's just like, Ukraine, you're not in NATO. You're not in NATO, baby. So
the ghetto!
I don't know. Like, the U.S. is trying to help them, but we're trying to stay out of it at the same time. I don't think we're offering aid to them, and then we're trying to convince China to not get involved with giving aid to Russia. So I think that's really interesting. They just had a talk. Biden just had a talk with China's president. So talking about how he shouldn't give aid to Russia, like military or economic aid, because it's Russia. They're strong arming Ukraine. We're trying to get Ukraine out of the trenches here, Like, Biden's trying, I feel like, but Putin just won't listen, you feel me? So I just feel like that is a new development, and trying to see how that goes. Also, the conversation was 2 hours with Chinese president. So what are you talking about for 2 hours? Now, maybe 30 minutes, but I don't know. It's world affairs, so who can tell how long that takes? So it's just funny. Like, I don't even know what to say, y'all. Like, it's just developing. I've read so much stuff. Like, Russia is bombing all these places in Ukraine, all these cities, and Ukraine is trying to block these forces from attacking them. Like, they're just really, obviously you're trying to protect their country and protect their people, because I've read so many people have died already. So let's shoot to the number. It's on the screen. So yeah, how many people have died in Ukraine? Just as of right now, and there haven't been many refugees, so you never know, we might be getting a lot more Ukrainians out here in the U.S. So that's all I gotta say, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to your girl's podcast, All That Podcast. Now streaming on all devices. Not really, but we can pretend like that. So anyway, all my socials will be down below. It is GABSTHEBEAST on TikTok and Instagram. And Facebook, I'm not really. Share this video for your mama for current news. And thanks for tuning in to All That Podcast. Where we show you music, culture, and all that, and tune in to next week's episode with my boy Austin. He has his own entrepreneurial company. I'm gonna let him tell more about that. So without further ado, we're gonna get into from the next video. Tune into the latest current events and news. And it's your girl Gab signing off for all you girls, gays, and theys out there. Bye. Peace out, Girl Scout. Really did this. My first podcast, and there's gonna be more. So just tune in. Yeah. Okay. Bye.